Travis Wayne Goodsell. As I was about to get ready for the day, I came across Exmo Lex on YouTube, who's again repeating her B.I.T.E model about how the church is a cult. And so I pisses me off. I'm writing the title here so I don't forget. LDS Church B.I.T.E model can bite me. I've done the videos trying to warn all of you, not just Mormons, but ex-Mormons and anti-Mormons alike, about the dangers of psychiatry, psychology, therapists, counselors, etc. And the danger with YouTube, Facebook, and other social media platforms using analog programs, analytics. If you've forgotten Cambridge Analytica, it's because Trump didn't care less about them because he won because of them. Steve Bannon was in charge of Cambridge Analytica. He also used that company to also destroy Britain and European relations with Brexit, and selling our data to Russia so that Russia can exploit us and cause our current anti-maskers and anti-American claims of unfair election. And so yes, Exmo Lex has fallen prey to that here on YouTube, as she's getting record number of subscribers, record number of views, and she's soaking it all up. Everybody's giving her attention, and she knows it, and she loves it. I don't complain. It's great that she exposes the church's corruption, but when she uses the B.I.T.E model rather than her own personal experiences as having been Mormon, that's where she gets brainwashed. Because the B.I.T.E model, who developed it? A psychologist. Psychology and all of those categories are pseudoscience. They are fake. That's what pseudo means. False, fake, fraudulent. And I've gone over why. It's because of the Mormon, Stanley Smith Stevens, who developed it, organized it into a formula of dichotomy and non-dichotomy. That categorization system. This B.I.T.E model does just that. And so it's great that they are able to apply it to the church, but having listened to others explain it, there are many problems that don't quite match with the church. For example, what is the symbol of the church? Give you a hint. It's carved in stone, carved in bronze at Temple Square. Do you understand what the difference is between a cult and a cult? Do you remember watching the X-Files? Mulder studied occult, not cult. Occult is different. It has the form of cults, but it's of the dark forces. And ex-molecs, like the majority of ex-Mormons, aren't mentally prepared to go that far with the church, because the church has done so well at covering it up and brainwashing Mormons. What is the doctrine of the church? Not Mormonism, the church. Taking away agency. All ex-Mormons understand this, because their hardcore Mormon family, friends, neighbors, fellow church members all freak out and panic. Well, why? Aren't we here on earth to decide which kingdom of glory we choose? Why should our parents freak out if we don't want to have sex with another person for the rest of eternity? The church has turned the Mormonism into a heaven and hell afterlife. I've received the comments as people say that the lesser kingdoms of glory are like hell. They've forgotten the whole concept. They don't understand it. Because, if anything, I'm a son of perdition because of all that I have learned. See, the church purposely controls information. And I went over yesterday in one of my videos about how Nelson, through his processes, has been leading the church very rapidly in a completely different direction than following the iron rod that is Mormonism, that is the Book of Mormon, that is Joseph Smith. What ex-Mormons and anti-Mormons do not comprehend is that no man knows my history, rough stone rolling, Mormonism and the magic world view. They only exposed the church's cover-up of Brigham Young and his crew. Because Brigham Young and his crew all threw Joseph under the bus. They altered documents. They created documents. They made accusations. They blamed everything about Joseph and his organization so that they could justify doing what they initiated. I went over with you when I went and did some research more on the life of Heber C. Kimball. And I'm doing it live, and I discover that he married a third wife while Joseph was in hiding. So it wasn't Joseph who was the only one with the sealing keys, the only one to seal. So who is sealing Heber to this third wife? And if you're going third, well, who's this? What was the second? When? Yeah, that was before he joined the church. I went over that live in my research. Heber is the cause of polygamy, though Brigham Young was Heber's puppet. It was Heber who went to Brigham Young. Hey, help me. We'll make you the star. I know these kinds of people, like Heber. I grew up with them. See, when I'm the superstar on the basketball team, I had people thinking that they were going to use me as their puppet. So I know exactly what Heber was doing when it's Heber that goes to Brigham, brings him into the church. I've gone over with you the Wikipedia page of Heber under Masonry, exposing that not only is he just outright lying to us, it reveals that he knew, and that's why he went to Brigham Young to bring Brigham in. And so Heber already had a second wife. Apparently his first wife either didn't know about her or she was okay with it. But yes, while Joseph was in hiding, he was not sealing anybody. And he was in hiding because of what Heber and Brigham were doing with the Danites. They were doing all this secret, covert stuff, causing trouble in society. And Joseph got blamed for it all. So Joseph was constantly getting arrested. That was their plan, that was their plot. Get Joseph out of the picture, they take over. But Joseph kept getting away with things and kept being found innocent or acquitted or just released. And so finally they had to murder him. And so don't fall for the church's trap. Yes, they put a lot of investment in keeping people from knowing about Brigham Young. But as long as the people that uncover things about Brigham Young are about Joseph instead, they're okay with that. So they're fine with the B.I.T.E model. They don't care. What the church doesn't want you to know is that they don't have the keys of the priesthood, that they aren't the true successors. I'm going to try to remember to put in Mark Hoffman. They had a news coverage article with a photo of Mark Hoffman in the church president's office in the church administration building, which is right at the window where the statue of Joseph and Emma was. I guess they took it out, I think, with all the reconstruction they're doing. But they're the current president of the church with others. I think, is Ballard one of them? Let me bring up the photo. This was supposed to be for a small section of pictures that I would use on a repetitive basis. It's getting to be a huge file. delay. Okay, so there's Kimball, and he's got a magnifying glass. And then there's Tanner and Eldon Tanner standing to his right in between Hoffman and Kimball. And then, is that Hugh B. Brown? Can't remember. And then Gordon B. Hinckley and Packer. Okay, so they're all dead now. And Hoffman is still locked away for the rest of his life. But they got the scriptures open. I mean, this is a photo op, but it's the salamander letter. And so why do they have the scriptures? There's no reason to. The salamander letter was a forged document, which I don't know why they were so easily fooled with the salamander. But again, that played into the whole magic worldview. The D. Michael Quinn, or no, D. Michael Quinn. There's another Quinn. But again, they aren't going deep enough. They aren't putting the contradictory pieces of the puzzle together. And so, yes, Heber C. Kimball can make the claim, oh yeah, we were practicing it in secret. Joseph Smith knew, of course he knew. That's why we're doing it. Because we speak for God. We're the true successors. That's how they deceive. And with this analytical program, they're able to promote Exmo Lex, John Dehlin, anybody who helps distract from the truth about the church, such as my channel, my videos, because I go to the source, and the church is pissed. They had to order the federal judges to stop the case. Tina Campbell, the fourth judge in the case, has shut it down and has now gone silent, purposely delaying the case to protect the church. That's how dangerous my knowledge about the truth is to the church. If I was just some conspiracy wingnut throwing out accusations or going along with the system, oh yeah, the B.I.T.E model, see this one right here, oh, they deny sex of their members. No, that's a cult. But anyway, that's one of the things on the B.I.T.E model, is sexual repression. And I've been going over that with my porn series videos and other porn-related playlists. Porn Wars. And that's the big thing here that we're facing in America. As Trump pulls the same stunt, as QAnon pulls this stunt, it's a distraction, deception, misinformation, disinformation campaign. They tell the truth because Jeffrey Epstein, pedophile. A space alien? No. Satanist? Don't know. But pedophile, yeah. Bill Clinton. Well, yeah, he had sex. He tried to claim he had an addiction. But again, he's trying to embrace psychology to help him out of his trouble that he got into. And really all it was is that his marriage with Hillary was a business relationship. It wasn't based on love. It was for financial and political gain. And so, yeah, those kinds of marriages don't sexually satisfy men. And that's why Melania keeps slapping Trump's hand away. She just married him to become an American citizen, get her parents naturalized as well. And so now she's got a child that can legitimize the marriage. But that's what I'm trying to warn you, is that the church is trying to distract you from the true truth. So yes, did Brigham Young and others of the Danites that came here to Utah, what is now Utah, say that Joseph Smith raped a 14-year-old girl, had relations with all these other women, polygamous marriages, etc., etc.? Yeah, they said it. And that's what Fawn Brody and the Rough Stone Rolling and D. Michael Quinn are all uncovering, that they said it about Joseph. But as historians, they should have known better, because it's just hearsay. It's just accusation. You have to verify the accusation. So it helps if you have a descendant of those who claim the union between one of those women and Joseph. Guess what? They have. And it's not Joseph's. The women lied. So now you have to plug that in. And ex-Mormons are not doing that. Rough Stone Rolling, Fawn Brody, D. Michael Quinn are not doing that. John DeLynn not doing that. He's a psychologist too. They're not taking the facts and the evidence because they don't like it. They like hearing that Joseph is a fraud, plagiarizing the Book of Mormon, using Captain Kidd as his role model for creating the book as a matter of fiction. They love it when we get to call Joseph a warlock or witch. It's warlock if you're a male. But again, if you don't understand, you get suckered in. You know, Masonry. Many people now know the church was involved with Masonry. They only go back, for the most part, to 1842. Ex-Mormons are the ones who are aware of before that. But they lump it all together as Freemasonry. They don't understand Freemasonry. You got to separate the groups. Which group were the Smiths a part of? Which group was Heber and Brigham a part of? That's what nobody is doing. But that's what I'm doing. That's why I'm more dangerous to the church than the rest. Because I go back to the source. I verify. Oh, okay. Smith Sr. was a Master Mason, huh? Well, which lodge? Canandaigua Lodge. Okay, which one was that? Which Mason group was that? Yorkites. Okay. Well, now we have Heber. Claims to be a Master Mason in 1 year. But I learned that Freemasons don't allow that. That's why Joseph in 1842 was complained about by the Warsaw Lodge, because the Grand Master gave special allowances for that to happen because of the large number of Scottish Rites Mormons who were already infiltrated in the church due to the missionary work of Heber and Brigham. Warsaw Lodge was Scottish Rites. Grand Master was Scottish Rites. And if you understand that you can't have York Rites also be a part of Scottish Rites, so there were some things that were violated there. So yes, that's why I do these videos. That's why they're so long. It's because there's so much information that ex-Mormons and the church especially are not talking about. And so yes, it's different from what you've heard. You've never known about this. Rough Stone Rolling doesn't cover it. Fawn Brody, No Man Knows My History, doesn't cover it. John DeLynn doesn't cover it. The church especially doesn't cover it. You can't go to Brigham for your source of knowledge about Joseph. He has a vested interest in not letting you know the truth. And historians should know this. Psychologists should know this. So don't get played with the dichotomous and non-dichotomous B.I.T.E model. It deceives you. It tries to classify the church, whereby you can then throw all your judgments on it. But then it distracts you from the truth that they're concealing from you. That's why the B.I.T.E model is wrong, and it can bite me. But yeah, it has to do with algorithms, because they use this psychological system by Stanley Smith Stevens into their programs. So Google search, YouTube, Facebook, all are based on narrowing our view in life. So that once we say, oh, I'm a Mormon, then everything gets interpreted in the Mormon box category. And that's what the B.I.T.E model is. It's claiming all cult groups, but it doesn't fit for the church in all cases, which means the church isn't a B.I.T.E model example. It's something else. That's why I'm saying a cult. Nobody's listening. Nobody cares, because YouTube's algorithms won't let you find out about it. Those who are listening to this video, yes, but the majority aren't. As you can tell by 2.2K views from 18 hours ago for X versus I'll be lucky if I get 30 on this one.